Good morning. Today's Friday, April 5th, 2019. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. There aren't a whole lot of things that are so ceremonial that we participate in them, and in a moment we just, there's that kind of emotional response. For me, it's coffee. I imagine smoking cigarettes. I've watched people, when they first light up a cigarette, that kind of exhalation, that sigh of, everything's okay, I'm content now. So my phone decided to be stupid last night, and I had to reset it. So I'm hoping all the settings on this are right. I don't really remember there being any settings that I had to change. No, there's nothing in there. I don't know. We'll find out soon enough. If anything is wrong or screwy, my apologies. Let's do that. Okay. So something I forgot to mention yesterday. Hold on. Coffee. Yesterday we released an episode of Martial Arts Radio, kind of going over the last 4 years, just talking about the impact that the show has had on my life. And you can find that here on YouTube, or of course, whistlekickmartialartsradio.com, or in your podcast feed. And got a couple questions that came in since yesterday. The first one was around dogs, and anyone who follows any of my personal social media knows that I love dogs. Dogs are probably the best thing in the world, and I even rate the quality of my days by the number of dogs that I get to pet. Yesterday was a 3-dog day, so it was a decent day. Unfortunately, most days are 0 dogs. Back when I did a lot of IT and we had the local Humane Society as a client, my days sometimes were 12 and 14 dogs. That was a lot of fun. Doing the work there, I would oftentimes spend 4 or 6 hours and only get a couple hours of work in, just because there were a lot of dogs and plenty of other animals. Yeah. What a lot of you may not know is that I used to have a pet rabbit, and he's been gone for, let's see, 2014, so about 4.5 years now. He lived to be 11, which is, not unheard of, but uncommon with rabbits. And the pet store that I go to get cat food tends to have a couple rabbits, and I have to walk past them to get to the cat food. And sometimes I ask them to let me hold the rabbit. Rabbits are awesome, but I wouldn't get another one. They're very destructive. If I gave you a tour of my house, you would see all the trim that he chewed that I don't know. I don't feel the need to replace it. Reminds me of him, Pets, they get near your heart. There was another question. What was it? I forgot it. I'll answer it on Monday. What was it? Nope, I don't remember. And if I switch out of this, you won't. I'll lose the feed. So yesterday, like today, was a whole bunch of driving around, talking to people, doing some consulting, trying to build that back up. It's stressful and it's exciting. Interestingly enough, as we figure some things out on the back end, I'm actually noticing, as we've worked to simplify, profitability as a percentage is going up fairly dramatically, so that's cool. So, it's interesting. There are a lot of things that we've done, we've tried, that we're working on. And they all take money. They all take time. And I'm just trying to figure this out. There's no roadmap. I was talking to somebody else about restaurant franchises the other day because I have really interesting conversations with people. And as we're talking about restaurant franchises, you know, we're talking about the percentage that gets kicked back. In most, I don't know if I can say most, in at least many franchise models, a percentage of revenue, excuse me, is paid back to the parent company. Like Subway. I looked at opening a Subway at one point. It was 8%, which is high. Most of them that I've looked into seem to be in the 4 to 6% range. But part of what you get for that is continual support and standardization, and at least in theory, methods that have been tested and are known to be effective. When you start your own business, you don't have that. You don't have, a whole bunch of smart people telling you, hey, this is how you should do this. You gotta figure it out yourself. I'm the smart person. Yeah. Right? And sometimes that works out because you end up with new ideas that haven't been corrupted by what's always been done or trends or anything like that. But at the same time, there's nobody to tell you, hey, you're being dumb. Stop it. You just have the numbers in your gut. So, yep. What else? It's Friday. Pretty pumped about Friday. The team will be at a competition tomorrow in northern Massachusetts, and I will be going with them. The current plan is I will be there for most of the time. I'm trying to figure out some car stuff. Trying to consolidate vehicles. If anybody cares, I will tell you the current plan. So I have a 4Runner, which I love. And I also have a Scion FRS, little rear-wheel drive kind of sports car thing. And I love both cars, but in my current financial position, it is hard to justify having two vehicles. And the car that seems to be the best combination of the two is the new Mazda 3 hatchback in all-wheel drive. These are very hard to find. There are not a whole lot of them. Nobody in Vermont has them. But I found some. So I think I'm going to go test drive one tomorrow after the tournament. Or at least after my time at the tournament. And see what's going on. Consolidating to one car would save me hundreds a month. I've done the math. Could be as much as $500 a month. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money when you don't have a lot of money. Onward and upward, right? You just keep doing what you can do. Banging your head against the wall trying to figure it out. I mean, that's life, right? That's martial arts. That's working on your forms. That's working on your sparring. We've probably all had someone in our school that we spar that just takes us to task every time. And if you're smart about it, you'll take a step back, literally and figuratively, and take a look at what you're doing and what they're doing, and look for the possible options. And not all of them will work. Sometimes you gotta, you try something and it works, but most of the time it's not gonna work. And you go back to the drawing board, and you repeat that over and over. And eventually you get there. You might have to do some extra stuff. You might have to, spend some extra time training, or you might have to get some help from someone. But eventually, you find a way through. And I think you can apply that to everything. And when the task is too complex, you break it down into smaller tasks. If I can't score a technique on this person that I'm sparring, or here, we'll fit the the analogy a little better. If you can't win a match against someone, break it down. How do I score 1 point? If scoring 1 point is too much, how do I spend more time not getting scored on? How do I lose less? Sometimes that's all you can do. But as you practice that stuff, you get closer to the goal. One foot in front of the other. What's that quote? I've mentioned this before, and I can never remember it when I'm in front of the camera. The surest path to success is always to just try once more, something like that. Then you've got the Japanese proverb, Chinese proverb, man falls down 7 times, gets up 8. That stuff. Just, if you believe in what you're doing, just keep trying. That's what I do. I'm gonna go. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget, we do this show every weekday mornings, 6:30 a.m. right here, Eastern Time, on YouTube. And you can catch the feed later, just a little bit later. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere else, or at firstcupwithjeremy.com. Monday. Huge episode of Martial Arts Radio. Check it out. For real. Be ready. Be ready. It's going to be big. So big. Huge. You're welcome, Stacey. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week.